Hello, and welcome everybody to Jogcast, episode number 69. We're here joined by Eekso.
I don't believe it.
And Archie, even though you can't see Archie. Just imagine that little Pepe in the bottom left is actually Archie. He doesn't have a face cam. But regardless, we have Oxygen here.
69.
Yeah, nice.
It is 69.
It is a very nice episode. We're happy to have the fellas here, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I mean, it's a nice number. I can't believe we're at 69, by the way, before we introduce a guest. I mean, it's how did we get here, boys?
How did we get here? Yeah, I just felt like you wanted to say something, so I wanted to kind of lead you into...
Oh, you dropped it off, didn't you? Yeah.
I
thought it was nice. I think we can get a nice chat.
Yeah,
but we are here with Eekso, with Peekso, as we like to call him. I like to call him Peekso. Ever since... we'll talk about that. There was one series that you played for... Would you at BDS when you were quadrant and you peaked?
No, you definitely peaked in more than one series. Come on.
No, but there was one particular series where he was Peekso. Anyway, Peekso and Archie, it's great to have them here. Coming off a hot top 4 placement, and I'd say soaring back into major contention off that. Boys, how are we going?
Yeah, doing great. Happy to be here.
You sound like it. You sound like you're about to have a blast. Archie, how you doing?
I'm so happy, man.
I'm good. Honestly, I'm feeling good. I'm definitely feeling good. I don't really know. Like, I'm turbo chill, man. Hashtag turbo chill. Hashtag Eversax. You know. Shout out to Gamertech as well. Thank you.
Yeah, buy the new decal, please.
Buy the new decal. Sponsored by
What's
Gamertech,
the rev split for the boys
Archie
on the new decal?
Yeah, how are you
What's
looking
the
at that?
RAM split? Do you say RAMs?
The rev split. Revenue.
Oh, revenue split. No. I don't need the revenue split. I just want to get people to buy this, the greatest decal of all time. So yeah, fine.
It actually is nice. It's a nice decal. Eekso is the only one that uses it though, I think, from you guys. So
Really?
No, I use it all the time, bro, in scrims.
Scrims
So
only,
does Oski,
though.
bro.
I use it in the qualifiers day one.
But why don't you don't want to just run it and then have Bacchus mod for your actual preset you want to look at?
The org would appreciate it.
Nah, the car feels too fast. So if you want to feel fast, go by the decal.
Yeah.
This guy's a professional waffler. It is unreal. I'm looking forward to this episode. We'll talk about was the last episode we had you on, Archie? Was that the formations? Was that
It
episode?
might have been.
Yeah. I think it was the formation.
Does anyone
I have to bring up
that?
which one of you guys, one of you Chalkcast listeners, wrote in one of the SSA RLCS threads on Reddit. It was talking about SSA this season, and then one of you has gone and written in there, I can't take to die for seriously ever since Archie put him in goal. Like the rest of the whole comment section is like, what is bruv waffling about? But you all know what he means. But would he still be in goal for you? Have you made any? You said you'd made some team changes behind the scenes.
Yeah, I've made some changes. Like Com's coming out of the team. He's had some bad performances from my side in recent spells. So I've gone with the golden striker Ronicki up top now. Gom's in the medical room right now. I'm not gonna say no. That's it.
Stop.
I'm not gonna make all this.
All right, let's move on from that. Well, let's quickly recap. You boys, the Oxygen. We haven't really talked to you guys at all. So let's go even further back than this weekend. Let's go behind Regional 1. Talk us through the team acquisition, Eekso. Obviously, you boys with Oski. How'd that all come about, and how was your off season?
Obviously, we just finished again top 8 at Gamers A with Joris. We had a lot of internal issues, I guess, so we decided we didn't want to stick with Joris anymore. Oski wanted to join Archie, so them two kind of went LF1 a little bit. They didn't really try anyone else, they really tried me out, but yeah, I mean, I just kind of got the offer after about a week of scrims.
So it wasn't really LF1, it was like LF Eekso? Was that really?
Basically,
LFE.
yeah. I mean, they seem like that.
LFU.
Did you do much? Well, it was obviously the big off-season news from you guys was that Oxygen ran a tournament, and they flew you guys to North America, right, for that tournament?
Yep.
As well, I imagine. Was there like sponsor stuff and other things going on, or was it just the tournament?
I mean, we did a bit of content there, but I think it was genuinely just for the tournament.
Really? So that was the main reason? Because I did wonder that. I was like, I wonder if that's the main reason you guys are out there, or is it some kind of obligation? That's really cool. And then you guys
we
won
obviously
it.
did the photo shoot and stuff. We did the photo shoot and stuff. Maybe it was that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you won the tournament. You reverse swept G2 in the final and turned NA fans upside down for a day. But yeah, what was going on there? How did you reverse sweep G2 first of all? Does that look like it was going very strongly against you? And then suddenly you just started winning. So how did that happen, if you remember?
Archie can answer this question.
I mean, they started with a game lead, so like, they started 1-0 before we even played, and then they
Mhm.
won 2 games, and I think they might just I don't even remember what happened in them 2 games, but after that we just like kind of just locked in, bro, and just won. Like, I don't think they played that amazing. I mean, Beast Mode like randomly had like some insane shot, bro. Like he literally scored like, one of the best scores I've ever seen against me. So, yeah, then we just won, bro. I
Is
don't
that
know,
like the
like,
ceiling? Like
yeah, where he like
make
touched
it
it off
up
the
on the spot.
ceiling shots, like go off flip
Yeah.
reset,
What
put it top
what
left,
was
bro.
that?
Like,
What
Don't
was
you
the
remember
scene?
that? That
Did
was
you
like the
remember?
goal of the off season where he like
I know it rings a bell, but I've forgotten it. Remind me.
he's got
Remind
an
us,
insane touch,
listeners.
caught it off the
I think he
ceiling.
like
Where's the clip?
it got launched forward to him, and he like jumped up,
He
like
reset it
got
instantly
yeah,
off the
got reset
ceiling
off the
and
ceiling, and then like just
pinged it.
smashed it top left, bro.
Oh, I do remember that. Okay, yeah.
Like a redirect ceiling reset
Somebody's got to
shot.
post that clip. Yeah, that was a worldie. But yeah, did that help you guys with confidence at all going into the season? Or is it, just an off-season tournament doesn't really matter? Because we always hear differing takes on off-season tournaments. What do you guys think when it
I
comes
mean,
to
I don't
off-season
think
tournaments, specifically that one?
I mean, it was in NA for one, so I don't think it really changed much. Like, I don't. I feel like NA's easier than EU to play against, so it wasn't like. But I was obviously confident coming to EU and playing. But
Mhm.
NA's like completely different play style. Like, it's way harder playing against the EU teams. Like, I feel like they defend way better.
What are the differences in play style?
I mean, for
Not
one,
to
like
give away your strats.
sometimes it can take minutes to break down a EU team. In NA, I feel like I can just score a goal in 10 seconds, bro.
Oh,
Is
so
it
that's what you mean by harder to? It's just harder to get past the
Yeah,
team
they
and
have
score.
EU has way better
Essentially.
structure, bro. I think
Yeah,
Okay.
easily.
like
Easily.
defensively, like that's like I mean, I don't think we even played well in that G2 tournament. Like, to be honest, and we still won it. So
do you mean structure or do you mean sort of like just way that EU approaches defense? Because I feel like it's kind of like two different things. You know what I mean?
maybe I mean I don't know how NA approaches defense. Like they just
They
like
sag off a little bit more, maybe.
not the best at it, to
than
be
EU.
honest.
So you
Yeah, I
think
feel
good defense is better than bad defense? Is like a summary of what you're
Oh
saying
yeah,
here.
I mean, like in EU playing against Monkey on defense, and NA you're playing against like who is the who? I mean, just loads of people, bro.
Go on,
Anyone
say
other than
no.
G2,
Go
bro.
on.
Anyone other than
No, I know
G2,
you
bro.
want to fling it out there.
Say who you want
I
to
mean-
say. I know there's a name on the
you
tip of
guys
your tongue.
you guys are sort of the only EU team outside of Matey, I guess you could say, that have the NA experience. You guys are the most qualified right now in the cross-regional debate, and you're pretty confident that EU have the upper hand.
I think G2 is good. I think G2 can win lands, but other than that, bro, no way, no chance.
It's not a debate,
No
really,
chance.
is it? It's not a
Mm.
debate.
What
Let's
do
not try to
you
make it a
think?
debate, please.
Where do you
Do you
put
think
G2 in the world?
Gen.G? Well, what debate? The
NA versus
region
EU,
debate?
it's not close. Yeah,
It's
not close, come on.
G2 versus
Oh, I see. Okay.
top 4
But
EU.
do you think Gen? So do you guys Archie so think that Gen.G are just not on that level, or do you have any well do you think that there's any chance that is just a mental block like Matey and Swiss G2 in bracket and that they're actually a lot better, or do you think that they're just not a good team?
I think they'd
I
struggle
mean,
against the top teams in EU. Like they wouldn't be able to beat them, I don't think, right now. If they can't handle G2 and MA2, you know. I think they'd be about, like top 6 in EU, top 7. They wouldn't be a top team in
Okay.
EU.
I mean, Gen.G could be good. It just looks like they don't really know what play style to play. Like when I watch them against G2, they just get destroyed, bro. Like they look like like completely
They're
different.
very
Like
default.
all three players don't look like they were last season, for example.
What do you
in
think
terms of
about
skill.
them not playing any off-season tournaments, trying to honeymoon this split?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was random. I don't understand that because then you can play an off-season tournament. You can see what your issues are gonna be before, so you can already start working on them. Playing scrims, you're not gonna see any issues. Like really, like because the tournament environment's like completely different.
Yeah,
I think in
they're
hindsight it looks bad not to have done it, but if it
they're
had
trying to boot
worked,
camp, aren't they?
they were. Are they trying to boot camp? Really, Gen.G?
I think I saw a Reddit thread of like NA teams that are boot camping or something, and
Are they in that?
I need to
Gen.G in it?
expand it. I thought someone said like Jack wants it, like they're trying to boot camp. It's something's like going on. I don't know.
No,
Interesting.
I think they're not
Who's trying to
because
do that?
Chronic is in school. I could just be making that up, but
Interesting.
I believe that is.
Well, somebody in chat saying yes, they are. So
Let me
that's
have a look at this
interesting.
thread.
SR is boot camping. Well, okay. Well, CJ looks that up. Eekso, Archie, you guys, you were boot camping for event 1 as well. I know you were this past one. You did both boot camps or just the second one?
Both.
Okay,
Both,
talk to
both.
me.
I
Talk
thought
to me.
so.
How impactful do you think a boot camp is for? I guess for you guys in general.
Oh, boot camp talk.
Yeah, we talked about this a while ago, but we want. Yeah, extremely.
Yeah, extremely
I think
useful.
it's like, yeah, I think it's like really good for like bouncing back when you lose.
Yeah.
Oh, so you mean
it's just good
game
for
day
team
is
morale
very
as
useful.
well.
It's hard to sigh and
I
meet
mean,
up when
Obviously,
when
it's
you're
obviously
in
like
front of everybody.
really good. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, yeah, and you can't really slack off like when you're around your team because it's like pretty obvious who's the one that's like slacking off, and then obviously you can grind harder as well because I mean you're all there to just play Rocket League at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
So that's like easier to regain on live day,
yeah,
more accountability, and less distractions. Is that like
Yeah, I
a
would say
summary
so,
of
yeah.
those things? Yeah.
What
Yeah,
about
also
what
gets you in
about-
the right mindset. Also gets you in the right mindset for the game.
Like
day.
you're at
being
work.
around the same, being around the same people. You know.
Mm-hmm.
What about chemistry and just like vibes and that kind of stuff? Just hanging out with each other.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that helps, but I mean, we're pretty good friends outside of having to be forced into a boot camp together. We talk a decent amount, to be honest.
Is it forced? Do you guys? Does the org want you to do that? Did you guys ask for it? Who instigated the boot camp?
It was us
Yeah,
more than the
yeah, we
org.
wanted
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. It just made
That's
sense.
good.
I mean, boot camps are just efficient. Like, I mean, nearly every top team in EU did boot camps. Like, all the
Mhm.
French teams do it, so we're gonna do it.
And do you guys take
Yeah,
a
that makes
train
sense.
to this boot camp, or do you guys go on a flight?
I take Uber,
Definitely
bro.
a train, boss. Definitely a train or an Uber.
NA could never. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Or an Uber.
But this
Actually,
is
that's
like
kind of
so-
crazy to hear.
Phil,
That's the
Phil
difference.
UK. We're not trying to dox you here, but where is the boot camp? Are you in London or are you somewhere else?
It's in Sheffield.
Sheffield. Okay, hold
Yeah.
on.
Well, we was
Scotland, I
we was
need to
looking at like
Google that.
It's
we looked at
probably,
options
probably
in
good
London
food there.
as well.
You looked at
Sheffield.
Oxford.
Good food. You crazy, bro.
Sheffield's
It's not that bad, bro.
good
not bad,
food there in Sheffield. Sheffield's like right in the
Chips,
middle
man.
of England. Actually, that's probably a good boot camp location
Sheffield
for
Wednesday.
UK-based
That's a
players.
football team, isn't it?
Yeah, the
Yep.
AS. They some AS.
Are they?
Yep.
I think I
Aren't
hear
Sheffield
them in
Wednesday one of them teams that used to win like decades ago when there was no money in football, and then when it started becoming money in football, they stopped winning. Just went to all Manchester and London teams.
No,
Liverpool.
they're not a big club. They're a tiny club. They're a tiny.
They must have
especially
won at
compared to
some
Leeds.
point though. What's their best ever
Sheffield
result? Sheffield Wednesday's
In the
best
1800s
result
probably.
ever. And for anyone, does
These are the
anyone in
real
chat?
questions.
Yeah, these are great questions, bro.
And when do they play? On Wednesdays?
Wait, who would be the NA equivalent of Sheffield Wednesday for all
Sheffield
of you
Wednesday, I would
multicultural people in
say-
chat?
I would probably say OG Esports.
Turbo cheeks, bro. Turbo cheeks.
Turbos,
Probably,
G.
no, OG Esports maybe.
OG.
Yeah, kinda-
Oh
Actually,
my
Turbo Cheeks kind of makes
Jeez,
sense.
boss,
We've got a
bro.
four-time world champion in
That's
there.
outrageous. Look, we're getting on a massive. I want to ask with the boot camps. I want to get back to those. There's the NA. You guys probably read about the NA boys or some NA coaches, community members, whatever, saying that it's just impossible. There's the logistics that aren't there. What do you guys think about that as European players?
I mean, I don't care. I mean, it's just probably worse. It's better for us than they don't catch up, bro. I don't think they're gonna catch up if they just do that.
So you think
Yeah.
if they did boot
I mean-
camp, they would catch up potentially?
Maybe, but I
Hell
think
no.
I think the mindset, their mindset on the game is like completely different to a European player. I mean, the state of rank twos in NA is absolutely awful, bro. I think if me and Rizzo queued at rank twos, I could get rank one, bro.
So do
Yeah.
you think ranked is a contributing factor, both now and long term, like historically?
It's probably the biggest contributing factor to why EU is so good.
I'm so glad you said that because I remember saying this before and I got laughed at. I think it was on First Touch. I said I think that's a reason, and everybody was like, "There's no way." But
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think it's true.
Europeans
I
have
think
taken ranked very serious for this since the beginning, man. Like
Since
everyone
the
takes it
beginning.
so serious.
I remember boot camping like season 5,
Mhm.
going to EU, like season 5 London, and I was like, oh my god, like these guys are playing like their life depends on it. Like they're never leaving the ball, and we're getting demo.
but their
kickoffs,
life
fakes.
actually does. It really does, CJ, because there's probably like there's so many rivalries in EU and so many people, so many different players that everyone will just not like, that you probably have a player in the other team that you just really want to beat, like more than 50% of games because of all the national rivalries. Spain,
then-
France, KSA, England.
Yeah, it's nuts. But then like season 6, like 6 months later, we go to Vegas, I think it was, boot camp there for a couple of weeks. And I'm playing ranked. I'm like, is this the Ford Freestyle Cup? Like, what's going on here? Everyone's just sitting in net going for air dribble bumps and air dribble like flip resets and stuff. Season 6, I was like, what is happening? So
Yeah.
that's.
I mean, the
that's
biggest
been-
difference to me is like the intimidation. I feel like a lot of these upcoming players in NA are terrified of the top players, like absolutely terrified. They won't even challenge them, like genuinely. But then you play against a random guy called Babood 519. He's playing on 500 ping, bro. He's gonna pre-jump you. Like in EU, it's different. In EU, it's just different, man. You play against 1800, 1900, 2K, don't matter. They're gonna pre-jump you. They don't care. They just want to win. Like, that's how it works in EU.
I think it is probably a contributing factor. We've heard that from NA pros as well. I think Chicago said that before. I think Garrett's mentioned it recently.
Arsenal said it as well.
Okay, RLCS this season, Oxygen coming in. We're definitely, I think, in everybody's expected top 8s. You got 9th, 11th, I think is the ranking for Swiss, 9th to 11th.
Yeah.
And then this one you got 4th, or third, 4th, I guess. Which puts you I think you're 1 point back. 1 point back
6th,
on Vitality and Magnifico. So it's extremely close, actually. Like the 4th place race in EU. I mean, even the Gentlemates are not safe in 3rd. Even Gentlemates are on 18 points. Magnifico and Vitality are in 15.
Like
Oxygen's
placing.
14. Yeah, it's 1 placing difference to make LAN essentially. So yeah, is this a spot you guys are pretty optimistic about, or are you happy that okay, this is good, where you're in a good spot, or were you hoping to be locked by now? What are you guys thinking about being 6th, 1 point off, going into the final event of the split? Archie.
I mean,
That's
I
what
would
you're
say
thinking.
like I'm pretty happy. Like we bounced back after the first regional. Like we all had like an off day in the first regional, and like we still almost got the top 8. And if we got top 8, it was like a whole new day. So like we could have regained, but we just didn't. We couldn't clutch it up in the end. I'm kind of unlucky, but I mean this regional we did pretty well. Like we just couldn't beat BDS. Like BDS just like way too good for us. Like have our number right now. Other than that, we like did really well against all the other teams.
But you beat
I mean,
Vitality, right?
No, we beat Gentlemates.
Or you beat Gentlemates? Sorry, Gentlemates.
Yeah, we beat
in,
Gentlemates.
Swiss.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be a pretty insane last regional. Like I think us, Vitali, Magnifico could all make it. And to be honest, I think like all 3 teams deserve to qualify. But Epic Games decided that EU deserves 4 spots. So well played.
Yeah. I mean, that's the same for as well. Like, I just don't understand how we've only got 4 spots in a year. It's ridiculous, man.
Not just that, but I think you mentioned Eekso on the broadcast, maybe about the Swiss. Obviously, that hurt you guys in the first event. Like, what are your thoughts on, especially in EU, with how competitive is like Swiss format?
Yeah, I mean, every format's got its faults. I'm not going to say the Swiss is the worst or the best, or I don't really have too many opinions on it. But it's just like our matchups weren't the best. We were kind of unlucky. I mean, you look at some of the runs people had; it's a lot easier. And that's basically all I'm trying to say. Is like a lot of teams we had to play. We're playing very good on the day, and it is what it is. We played BDS in a 0-1 matchup after we went to game 5 because they got swept. It's just unfortunate, man.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Do you really think that's well? Do you not think that would be more amplified in a different format, though, like double elimination? That happens once, and now suddenly you're playing, a way tougher team to make top 8. And it's a one and done match. It's not like round 2, and you've got another shot. Like, out of all the formats, basically, what's your guys' favorite? What do you think is the most accurate to get the top teams into the playoffs?
I think Swiss is the best, to be honest.
Swiss into double elimination, something like that.
It's a double. Interesting.
Nah.
I'd like to introduce you guys to the wonderful concept that we've talked about before. It's a phenomenal idea. That is the Australian Football League playoff format. Have you guys heard about this? The AFL playoff bracket?
I think you've explained this to me before, but I forgot.
I've never heard of
this. It's the way to go. It starts double elimination, it ends single. It's really I think the way to go. I don't know what we got to do to get RLCS to run it, but
I've been calling
I
for
think
it
that
for
would be
16 years. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like top 4 get a second chance, and then 5 to 8 are like sort of single alien from the start. So you get like the second chance, but then you don't have a bracket reset grand final by the end of it. So it's very easy, but people just find it confusing. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, look, regardless of formats, because I know there's been some comments, Rizzo, on our YouTube accounts about it's too much format
I started
discussion.
sweating a little bit when you guys brought that up.
Let's hop away from that. Yeah, so you guys had the 9 to 11, and you guys bounced back in a big way on the weekend with a top 4. What do you think? What kind of changed in those 2 weeks leading up, or on the day to get you guys to that 3rd, 4th spot?
Just a change of preparation, really. We took it a lot more serious. We had like a few obviously issues that we're not going to talk about. Like nothing serious, but obviously it's just things we don't want to communicate with anyone else within the team. Just took it a lot more serious. Yeah, scrims were a lot better, and it translated into gameplay really.
How do you guys? I guess there's a lot of talk about like the Europe top 4, at least the top 4 from the first event. How do you guys as a team, I guess with scrims or replays, like are you trying to emulate like what K-Corp are doing, or trying to take off bits of what they're doing, or is it like kind of honing your own style?
I don't think there's an EU top 4 right now, to be honest. I mean, obviously the rankings say different, but I think it's about an EU top 2 right now. I think KC and BDS are the best 2 teams in the region, and then there's a big gap. Well, not a big gap, like a relative gap. A relative gap. And then it's up for debate. I don't think we've seen enough evidence that Gentlemates, Vitality are up there, in my opinion. I think Gentlemates had a really good first regional, but they weren't very good in the second. So
after the first regional though, did you think that BDS, like from mine, I thought they were probably like from the first event to my eye looked probably like the 4th team, maybe 3rd, 4th. Like Vitality still looks pretty good. Should have probably won. Obviously they had the alpha miss and stuff like that. Gentlemates look really good. Like, did you think coming into the season, or at least after the first event, that was like the top 2, KC and BDS, or did you have Vitality up there, or Gentlemates?
Going into the season, I personally thought it was going to be KC and Vitality at the top, and then probably a bit of a gap. Then it was like a fight between us, BDS, Gentlemates, Magnifico. Basically what it is now.
Yeah.
I'm a bit shocked with Vitality's downfall as a whole, but it kind of makes sense. I mean, they just won Worlds. It's basically a curse. So
motivation and stuff.
It's tough. But they've lost. So Vitality lost in event 1 in their opening match. Then they regained, made it out of Swiss and won their. I think they beat Moist in the quarters, and then lost to Gentlemates. So I think event 1 they were right there. It looked like to me they were right there. And then event 2 is where they had the big disaster class. I think it was just the game 3. Did you guys see the game 3? Archie and Eekso after the timeout for Vitality. Yeah, so it was bizarre because usually coming out of a timeout, team often will just have a complete switch up on how they're playing and generally do better, like statistically and visually they tend to play a lot better after timeouts because you've had that anti-tilt moment. But yeah, they came out of the timeout from a game they honestly didn't even play that badly, and I think it was an overtime 1-0, but that they lost. And then they immediately conceded like 5 goals in a minute. And I was like, that might be the worst post-timeout minute I've ever seen. But did you guys get a chance to watch that one?
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I was a bit confused as well, but I mean, I guess like I think they conceded a couple kickoff goals and then they just like collapsed. Like
the first kickoff, they just didn't actually know what they were doing.
Missed the ball.
Like I think
they missed the ball.
They just missed it. Yeah, they miscommed. Somebody thought it was a fake, and I don't know if it was. I don't know if they knew who the fake was supposed to go towards. I think Zen in the back corner thought Radosin was supposed to hit it. Radosin thought it's going to Zen, and they both just left the ball and it went in. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like that out of a timeout before.
I mean generally it can happen. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, especially like it was 2 bad games at the end were crazy bad games. But yeah, what are your guys thoughts on timeouts actually, just very quickly, because
timeout buff.
Do you feel like the timeout buff is real for you guys, for other teams?
Yeah, you can answer Archie.
Yeah, I think it's like statistically shown that like you most likely win the game after doing a timeout. I mean, for one, it's like you always try to change something usually, and then maybe like you catch your team out, and then the next game they like see what you're doing. But I think when we took a timeout against BDS, we won the game. I think most of the time when people take timeouts, they win the game. So timeouts are pretty good, I'd say. And against
Does
me,
it,
usually
what,
whenever someone takes timeout, I lose the game.
how does it feel though mentally, Eekso, as well? Because obviously, statistics show it's good, so everybody's doing it. But like, does it feel, just like a free reset mentally to take a timeout off like a tilting loss or just an annoying ending to a game?
I think it kind of depends, to be honest. Like, obviously, if you lose bad in the game you just like played, it can definitely be like really nice to just take a step back and like properly collect your thoughts and just see what you can do different. But to be honest, I don't really like feel like it's much of an advantage or anything whenever we take the time out. I don't really feel like I'm learning anything like incredible. It is nice to like talk as a team though and like kind of reaffirm that you're confident you're still going to win. So maybe that helps towards like the win in the next game because you just kind of like collectively come together and say that you're going to get through it, which is quite nice.
Just icing out the other team. That's what I think as well.
I
think the other team overthinks it. You get
Yeah, I don't know if that's like giving away too much, but have you ever done that where you like, let's just call a timeout, change absolutely nothing, and see if they fall for it? Like, see if they try and predict what we're doing differently, and you just come in with this same game plan. I'm sure that's happened, but yeah.
I mean, I think that definitely happens. Like sometimes, like you lose 2 games where you like could have won both. So it's basically just like you want to stop their momentum a little bit and like have a little breather before you play again.
Yeah.
So go on, Rizzo, go on.
I don't know. You have something?
Go on, Bale. I was just going to say Vitality's sort of wrapping those guys up. What do you kind of mentioned you were expecting them to play better. What are your thoughts on Vitality? We talk about is it the world champ? Do you think it's more the world champs hangover or losing Farah, the super coach?
Oh,
I think it's just an overreaction from the fans, to be honest. So I think they're still a great team. They still have massive potential. I feel like as a whole, it's just like an overreaction. I feel like, they lose bad. I mean, this game is very hard to play at the highest level all the time, It's definitely on the fans to like, not hate on them too much because they still managed to get top 8 both times. I mean, they got top 4 actually the first regional. If anything, like they've not really fell off. They just kind of like left the podium a little bit. I mean, they could still easily like end up making the major and win the major, It's just a small stepping stone, I feel like, for them.
Eekso, speaking of overreaction, during this offseason, right?
that's the shit.
People had Oxygen at 9th through 12th, okay? They had Eekso himself as a D tier player, specifically casters, and you had something to say about it on the mainstream. You were calling out.
Who put Eekso as a D tier? Who did it?
CJ did. CJ did. Swear he did. And everybody was calling Eekso a fraud, Archie a fraud. Everybody was making wrong opinions, and you called them out on the main broadcast. You had an interview afterwards with Stumpy, and you were saying how basically you don't care what casters have to say because casters just waffle about. They just say everything and anything just to get a reaction. They're wrong a bunch of times. Can you please explain to me, what did you mean by that?
I mean, I remember what I said. I just don't care what the cast have to say. I feel like they're very entertaining people. I enjoy it if I'm like watching another series. I like to hear what they have to say. In terms of, I like to hear the tone of the voice. It's like anything. It's like having music in the background when you're watching a series. It's the same thing. They don't really give meaningful commentary. I don't think they really know what they're talking about, half these casters. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't expect them to. I don't think they've had past experience. A lot of them, obviously, CJ has, and maybe Turtle did when he was casting at one point, but.
Back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not very insightful. I just don't think they know what they're talking about to the highest level. I feel like I hear a lot of plays that are incorrect. I also think a lot of descriptions of teams are incorrect. I feel like they don't understand the dynamics. They kind of come up with their own dynamics as well, which is quite funny. I always hear people say, "Oh yeah, this person's this way and this person's this way," when they don't really know the true story. I also think a lot of casters side with players that they like. I mean, I've experienced it first time when I was on Quadrant. I feel like they always tried to document that as cash versus free. So. I've been part of that team where, one player gets the spotlight when it's not actually the case.
Has there ever been a comment?
Versus what was it?
Hold
Sorry,
on, Johnny. Hold on, sorry. Has there ever been a comment?
I just missed something you said. I wanted to repeat.
Has there ever been a comment from Johnny Boy that really irked you?
Johnny Boy. Nah, Johnny Boy's a G, bro. He gave me my one.
You can be brutally honest. You can be brutally honest. I'm like. I'm like well aware that
I think the whole beef with NA. I mean, it's funny and all, but it's just not accurate. Obviously, I mean, they're a great region, but I mean, there's nothing in particular. Of course, I don't really remember.
I feel like that's
specific
not
things
how you describe them. I don't know if that's how you described them earlier on today. I'm feeling a little bit. I feel like I'm hearing a little bit of inconsistency.
No, they're a great region, boss. No, they're a great region. I played against them. I literally went over there and won the tournament. I know they're a great region, boss.
Yeah. Now I wanted to ask, what was the comment? I didn't hear what you said about Cash.
He said Cash
the
versus 3, 1v3.
Oh,
I mean,
Cash 1v. Okay.
every single time I played on Quadrant, people would either say, "Oh,
I
Quadrant, the
see.
most mid team of all time. Cash needs a new team, whatever." Whenever we went into the season, and then I ended up having a great performance against BDS. I finally got a bit of praise. And every other series from that point was just Cash versus 3, apparently. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you
from then on in my eyes. You were peak.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, CJ. But as a whole, like from a player perspective, it's obviously very, very frustrating just to hear these casters that clearly are friends with the players. Because I know Cash was friends with a lot of the casters that were casting. So they side with Cash because they like the side of the story of Cash. And I'm down for that. I'm down to like hear about the canon, hear about all these stories. But the casters themselves need to do their own research into other players. I feel like they don't actually do it. I feel like I hear a lot about these top players, but a lot of these smaller players never actually get any recognition. I mean, a lot of these players that make it to the top 8 sometimes out of nowhere, half of them can't be pronounced correctly, bro. I feel like half the casters didn't know how to say Tekos, which is crazy. Like, how are you going to have a player get into the top 8 and not pronounce the name correctly?
I'm glad you didn't say it right there, like Tekos or something. I was about to lose my
Techie
mind. I was like,
Tekos.
no, we're not going to lose Techie Tekos, are we? He's not. Yeah, I like Tekos. Tekos.
But as a whole, it was just that I don't really care about what the cast have to say. I feel like they want to obviously like make it out to be something. A lot of situations where they're not actually what they are. Like Vitality is being quote unquote carried by Zen when the other two did very well. It's the same kind of stories. I just don't really agree with that. I don't think it's very good for the esport in general. I feel like a lot more players deserve a lot more praise.
Do you? Okay, well, actually, to comment on a few things you said there. As a caster, I've heard many times over the years pros say that they don't like listening to casts, and I think it makes sense because I don't think that the majority of things casters will say will be interesting to pros, because pros are just you guys are like this super fans level of knowledge, like a lot more about the game than 99.9% of Rocket League viewers. So I think most things that casters say that's catered, well, anything a caster says is catered to an average viewer or a new viewer, you're not going to care about just naturally. But I do think that doesn't give the excuse. I like what you said about, well, you think that, it's not giving a fair story to all of the pros. I think that's also very true. I think that just because casting is not targeted at pros doesn't mean that it should be, what you say, annoying to listen to. It's because, if a cast, like you said, background noise, I think there's a difference between background noise and actively hearing something that you're like, I just completely disagree, that's just false, that's just nonsense. Like, do you think that you should enjoy casting, Eekso? Or do you think that it's just background noise? Should it just be background noise to you as a pro? That isn't.
I feel like as a pro, I should be able to like hear different opinions from each caster, because obviously each caster is meant to have their own like perspective and things. But I feel like half of them just copy each other, to be honest, and I feel like it's just the same kind of story. Like Quadrant was literally just being constantly told that Cash is the best player on the team, Cash is the greatest. Never heard about Relay and Wave, never heard about me, and it's the same kind of stuff for other teams. It's always the same kind of thing. I feel like a lot of narratives try to get pushed, and a lot of players don't ever get praised that should be praised. That's all I'm trying to say.
What's like a more recent narrative? Because that one was kind of a while ago. Do you have like a more recent one that you're thinking of?
Probably Zen, like you mentioned, didn't you?
Yeah, Zen. I mean, you can find it with anything. I'm not saying these players don't deserve praise, but I'm just saying that casters, I feel like, repeat the same thing constantly.
Well, look,
Joyo could be a good one. Joyo.
Joyo needing a new team is one of the weirdest things I've ever heard in my entire life. He got to choose his own team, so I don't really understand how it's all Joyo being right.
That's got to be more of a fan thing, surely. Like Joyo needing a new team, right? That's more of like a fan comment. I don't think I've heard a caster say that.
I've heard casters say that Joyo deserves better players. I mean, Jorby's very passionate about
that. In a cast though, like an actual cast, if a caster said that on their stream, that would be one thing. But if or like I don't know, tweeted it or something. But if they said it on the cast, that would be different. Like on an actual cast.
I don't think Jorby doesn't cast for the mainstream anymore, so I can't obviously analyze his casting. But I mean, I don't really remember.
Oh yeah, I just mean to point out that I don't think he would say that. Well, I don't think in his mainstream casting days he would have said something like this.
But what I'm saying is it can come across sometimes. It can come across sometimes when they're casting players that they're very biased towards certain players.
Do you think there's a firstly, yeah, definitely. But do you think that there should be a difference between well, can there be a difference between what casters say about players on their own personal stream, social media, etc., and the main channel?
Yeah, there should be. 100%,
And you wouldn't
there should
take. So would
definitely
you take the comments as well? I mean, you're well within your right to take the comments the same way as a player, but do you expect to see? Is that where you're seeing? Because you mentioned there's a lot of inconsistency. Is that where you're seeing the inconsistency, or do you see inconsistency when you listen back to casts and you hear the actual live broadcast casting?
I mean, when I listen back to the casting, it's usually just like they're trying to tell a story, I feel like. And a lot of the stories get kind of boring and kind of the same thing. So I don't know. I don't really care. Like I said, I don't really care what the cast have to say. I'm just saying whenever I do listen to the casting, I think it's very repetitive. I don't really think it's very insightful.
Let me go a different angle, because this one kind of annoys me. Especially like when I was playing, or just like when I wasn't a caster. But I used to get annoyed when casters would, like, if someone makes a mistake but they don't point it out, like they're trying to give benefit of the doubt, like, you know, oh, he just faked, you know, that's just like a very simple one, like if he whiffs or something. But there was a lot of comments. I think I get a lot of comments because if I, as a caster, like if I see something or it's bad gameplay, I'll just say like these guys aren't playing well. But like I get a lot of feedback, or a lot of people say they don't like when you say like these guys are trying their best, don't point it out. Like, what do you guys think as players? Like, do you know what I'm getting at? Do you like when casters, like, if I'm pointing out, okay, like he's stuffed that up, or do you like you'd rather hear them kind of be like, oh no, it's okay, like they're trying their best, you know?
I mean, I'd obviously rather you be like honest with what you feel in the moment, but I mean, you just got to be honest, you know. You can happily criticize as long as it's insightful, you know. I don't think you should be like, oh, they're playing bad. You know, I got to hear why they're playing bad from your perspective.
The first quarterfinal, what was that? It was Magnifico. No,
so
was it Magnifico?
So.
Yeah, man, like that series, I can't, like that was ridiculous. But then people were saying like I was going too hard on them, but I was like, mate, they threw like 3-3-0 leads or something, so, and like stuff like that. But I don't know.
Where'd you see that people were going too hard on you? Where'd you see that?
Oh, there's a few tweets.
That's something that's something that will happen often. Yeah, like whenever a series is particularly bad, and casters are not praising the players and the teams for playing well. Yeah, there's those. I think there's always going to be some viewers who are just like, I don't want to hear this, because some people just want to hear positive. They just want positivity, which is fair. Like some people are just the type of personalities that try and surround themselves with positive thoughts, positive everything. But it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't only. It's not the only thing some people are going to look for. I like more I think Eekso, it sounds like to me what you're saying is you don't like disingenuous casting. And one of my gripes I wanted to ask you about is when I hear a caster say something that just sounds completely made up. Like, as an example, if caster A asks caster B, what does this team need to do to turn this series around? And caster B just makes up a pile of nonsense that isn't like absolutely no.
Get aggressive.
Yeah, just makes up a pile of nonsense. That's something that triggers me. It happens in like other esports and in Rocket League sometimes. But what is that more in line with what you're talking about, where it's just okay, this is just nonsense. This isn't there's no substance to this.
Yeah. I mean, exactly.
As opposed to positive or negative.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they don't understand the game to the level they need to understand to be able to actually tell the audience what they're going to be doing during the timeouts, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it sounds like that. Well, it sounds like that.
Just talking for the sake of talking, sort of thing.
Repetitive storylines about one player. That's absolutely. I think that's very fair to say. And yeah, disingenuous commentary, 100%. Johnny does that all the time, though. Yeah, I try not to be disingenuous. So if I don't know, I've told Shogun's asked me this question many times over the years. Like, what does this team need to do to turn this around? There's been many times, even on like big series, where I say I've got absolutely no idea, because like it just seems like such a dire situation that I'm like, I don't know what I would tell them. I'm glad I'm not the coach, because they've just gone 3 games down in a best of 7 and they're playing really, really badly. But yeah, there's been other times where I think that there is something that stands out, and I'll say it, and maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not as a caster, I'm not too worried about it really, because yeah, you're going to make mistakes as a caster, just like players are going to make mistakes, I guess. But yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to bring Archie into this as well. Archie, don't know how much you want to say on this topic, but yeah, do you? I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but do you kind of echo Eekso's sentiments towards this topic, just generally?
I mean, I would say for one, like when he says like on Quadrant, they mainly mention Cash. I feel like that's like with every team. Basically, the casters just pick the most like mechanical player or most pleasing to watch player and say he's the best player or like always talk about him. But obviously, there's 3 players on a team and it needs to be consistent. Like you need to talk about all 3 players. Like you can't win a game with one person on the field. So the least mechanical players definitely don't get as much praise as they should from the casters.
I love that take,
insight
Archie.
into, like their game.
Us right here, baby.
I love that
Um,
take.
That's going to resonate
like-
very well with the Chalkcast.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Like
He's got
I
a
bet
point.
on Rizzo's
nothing.
team, bro.
We got
No
nothing.
one's fucking saying Rizzo's like the MVP, bro. Like even though Rizzo was giving him 10 open nets from the bumps he was doing, bro. Like
Radossin first man, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, when Vitality won Worlds, no, I bet the casters were talking about Radisson the least, even though he's probably one of the most like, even though some series he was probably the most impactful player on their team, and even like Alpha said in an interview, I'm pretty sure that Radisson played the best, but no one said that at Worlds. Like none of the casters probably would have said that. It would be like Zen or Alpha. So definitely,
Yes,
like,
DJ on the grand final cast.
Definitely-
Didn't hear enough about
definitely
Radossin
there is
Pro.
bias.
Hey,
Definitely
you
there is
hit the
bias to like
signature shot,
mechanical
fair
players for sure. But
Why?
I don't
But
really
did
listen to
Radossin
cast
not
much.
hit his signature shot? He didn't.
His
No,
signature bump, signature
He didn't
turn,
own goal. No.
6 rotation, triple bump net. He probably did. He's pretty good at that. I feel that. I feel that, Archie. I think a lot of people as well, like you were mentioning, Eekso, like already have an idea in their head. It's like confirmation bias is pretty big in Rocket League, where you know whether that's casters, fans, whatever, are just looking for that one thing that they already believe, and then once they find it, they're like, "See, I told you that this player was the best." Like they're looking for that one goal, one series, whatever. Where whoever they think is the worst on the team, they'll wait for a bad series and be like, "See, I told you they should get kicked." You know, stuff like that. It's very rampant in Rocket League.
I did want to mention actually as well, Eekso, on your take that you don't care about what casters think. I think that's honestly a very healthy thing to try and continue doing. You shouldn't care, and you should, I think, try not to care. I think it's a good example for all pros to not care, because if if like any pro scores like a good goal or does anything on a broadcast and they see themselves in a clip and they press play and they hear what the caster says and it annoys them, that's obviously not very good for their mental. So I think mentally it's probably just a good thing to do, to bulletproof yourself on another avenue. We hear a lot about like uninstall Reddit, uninstall socials if you're having a bad weekend, whatever, at a LAN. But I think it's the same thing. Yeah, don't actually listen to what casters say as pro is probably right up there with a good advice for up and coming players to not get tilted. Because at the end of the day, it's not. I don't think casting is for pros, but it is definitely nice over the years when a pro tells you that they like your casting. It's like it's an affirmation that you're doing a good job, because you haven't actually tailored your commentary to pros, but they don't hate it. It's like kind of that's the vibe I'm I guess going for, because I don't want to have pros tell me that, oh yeah, that everything you said was wrong, and this is wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong. I'll be like, okay, I need to do my homework, I guess. So yeah, you're definitely. I think it's very valid what you said, and I don't take any offense to it. I know I tweeted goated interview by Eekso, and then a bunch of people are replying like he's talking about you, bro. It's like, I thought, even if he is, it's still a goated interview.
it was
'cause
awesome.
Honestly, yeah.
It's a way better
just
interview than
content.
the
than like,
fact
oh
that
yeah,
it was
like,
something like different and super direct, and it was just straight up your
Yes,
opinion. Like,
yes.
I loved that.
it was
like,
real. It was so real.
I saw
loved
nothing
it
else
because
from
it
the E
wasn't just
weekend
a-
besides like your interview and maybe like one shot. I'm not even kidding. So
That
No,
guy
I
doesn't
loved
watch
it
Rocket
because
League, though.
it was way better than the usual interviews. I mean, the interviews are getting better over the years, and they are getting better now. A lot of players are getting really good at them, but yeah, it's way better than the usual. Like, yeah, we're really happy we won. We're going to try and win again tomorrow. Like, great, thank you for the insight. So I liked it,
Yeah.
and hats off to you. And I think there's been some clapback to it, but I don't think it's deserved. I think if some people now consider you the heel, I think you should ignore them as well and keep doing you. So
Yeah, I mean,
good stuff.
just as I say, I don't care about the casters. I really don't care about the chart. Like that's a next level thing. I don't care about. It's Reddit, Twitter. I'm just being honest. Like, why should I care about them? It's not like an arrogance thing. It's just genuinely like for my career, it doesn't make sense
Yeah,
to listen to
yeah.
chat. Like, it
It's not
genuinely doesn't make sense.
productive. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not. They're not really like, no disrespect to them, but they're not really going to help me in any regard. Even if they tell me I played good, tell me I did this well, it doesn't really help me. I just want to listen to my team. The people around me who support me. It's just like anything in life, you don't really want to listen to the people who are going to come in and chime their voice that you don't want to hear. It's just, I'm just focused on myself is all I wanted to put across. I'm not like trying to aim it towards any specific caster. It's just
Mm.
I don't want to have to give my opinion on every single other person's opinion. You know, if someone comes to me and says, "Oh, what do you think about this opinion of this?" I just don't care, man. To be honest, simply put, I just don't really care. I know a lot of people say he clearly cares because he says he doesn't care, but I don't care. I'm just being honest.
You know, we
I
actually,
just, to the soul, I don't care. You know, I have to say I don't care because otherwise you wouldn't understand. I don't, you know, can't appeal to everyone.
It's just one of those things, isn't it? Like if you say that you don't care, people will be like, "Haha, so you do
So you
care."
do.
It's like, well, okay. How are you
Exactly.
supposed to communicate that you don't care about something then? If saying you don't care makes you care, like, is that just impossible to communicate that information? Like, yeah, I mean, I believe you personally. I think it's like, also, even if there is any like percentage of that caring in there, if any amount of caring that you do have for those comments, yeah, I think telling yourself that you don't and actually practicing not caring is a skill that you can get better at and reach your goal of not caring 100%, even if you're not there. But what percentage do you think you're at? Are you at 100%? Or are you like still grinding the not caring?
It depends.
I'm not
it
joking,
depends
by the
on
way.
it.
This is a skill.
It depends on the caster. I'm joking. But, for sure. Like I feel like obviously like I care to the point where I'm not brain dead. I obviously hear words and it goes into my brain and I function an opinion on what someone just told me. But to the point where like I actually take it as criticism or like I actually take it and like use that information, it's like 0%. I don't really actually take
I
anything
like that.
seriously.
I really like it because it sounds very much like what I've done over the years, because there was a point early on in like casting/content where I probably cared about every comment I read because it was so new to me. And then at some point I realized that in fact a lot of the comments that I'll read about myself are just going to be from people that just naturally don't like me, and I don't want to shape my work and my career, my life around people that don't like me anyway. It's fine if people don't like you. It's fine if people say mean things about you on the internet. It's probably better to try and just do what you want to do, be who you want to be, just be genuine. And I started doing that. My strat actually early on in my career was, okay, I'll read comments because it doesn't really bother me to read hateful comments, and I'll extract any useful information I can from comments. And if I deem the comment completely worthless, I just like try and I'll delete it in my head. It's just gone. I'm like, okay, that was worthless. Next, I'll just move on. Like, there's no point dwelling on hate. There's no point dwelling on like, okay, this caster said something I don't like, and then letting it bother you throughout the day. It's better to just like move on. So I actually do really rate that mentality. I think it's gonna help you.
Definitely is
get
a
more
as well.
results.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the mindset you've got to have, because obviously if you listen to everyone's opinion when you're coming against like prime vitality, then obviously you're meant to lose, you know. So if I listen to everyone's opinion, then I wouldn't be able to like pull an upset. Like it's just like a normal mentality to have. And in general, it's just a problem with social media. You know, people always feel like they can say whatever they want to anyone, but
yeah, it's the
you shouldn't
anonymity,
listen to
isn't it?
yeah, I feel like this,
you actually just should not listen. Yeah,
this segues extremely well. We actually got a comment on our YouTube channel from our boy Eric, because I asked him for a topic because he didn't like our previous topics last week, so I asked him for one this week.
Too many formats.
Regardless, he said he was talking about like how to keep a pro's mind healthy and talking about mentality in general. Is there anything that you guys do specifically to kind of help your mentality going into an event, maybe a major or regional? Well, they're not regionals anymore, but maybe a qualifier or a major or anything like that. Like delete Reddit, Twitter, all that stuff, or anything specific that you guys do?
I mean, it's obviously like it kind of depends on the mood I'm in, to be honest. I mean, obviously you get in those moods where like you actually want to use like maybe something inside of you to like fuel a bit of energy, and maybe you're not really like actually on it that day. So you want to actually read some hate comments, so you actually want to like fuel yourself.
Oh, really? You hate fuel yourself? That's actually.
I mean, some people.
That's sick.
I mean, at least I used to do that. I don't really do this anymore, but like I remember I did it when I had to play BDS on Quadrant. I literally like read every hate comment saying I wasn't good enough for main event, everything I was saying I don't deserve to team of cash, and I just ended up popping off. So maybe I should do more, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, but as a whole, it's just like it's kind of just like a life skill, to be honest. It isn't really to do with gaming. It's just like as a whole, you should just value your own opinion and the people you actually care about more than other people. Like they don't really have like a good opinion of who you actually are as a person, and just keep the good people around you. And as a whole, when
you
you go
don't
into
know
match
who
day,
they are
like,
as well. They could be
Exactly. It's just
some person who doesn't even have your back. They're just talking nonsense to try and get attention. So I rate that a lot.
You just got to worry about what the only thing you should care about is what your team and your coach thinks. I mean, Yummy Cheese Man shouted on me for 6 years, but that didn't stop me. Just worry about what the team thinks about you, and that's the main thing. I think the comments can be overwhelming. It's the same with everything, like YouTubers, content creators, and stuff. I think Sunless talks about it. Like, it's easier to look at the 1%. The 2%, 5%, whatever of hate comments, like, they stick out to you. They're always going to. You're kind of like looking for it in a way as well. You're kind of like, who's talking shit about me? It's kind of like natural human behavior. So the more you can just worry about what your team thinks. Like, if Archie says you shit, then you're probably concerned. That's when you're kind of like, okay, maybe I need to fix something. But if it's some random, Reddit comment, then who cares? Like, well, what do they know?
yeah.
Have
Exactly.
you tried this strat, Archie, to hate fuel yourself by reading comments?
Honestly, no, I don't care. But I mean, honestly, I respect people's
I don't
opinions,
care.
so I don't really. I mean, if someone like shit talks me, like honestly, like respect, like without the fans, there's no esport, bro. So I don't really care, man. Like you can shit talk me all you want, bro.
That's also
But
true.
then
I do like the fact they have
it's like-
opinions,
Then it's like, I mean, I just like going to every series wanting to win, bro. I'm like thinking about anything other than outside the game when I'm going into a series.
It's better. Yeah, it's better than indifference. Like if you say that you like that they have any opinion at all.
Oh, yeah.
It's
No,
probably
I
better
mean-
than indifference for sure.
It's better than everyone agreeing. So, like,
That's another very underrated comment. Yeah, speak more about that. Why does everybody agreeing suck, Archie?
I mean,
it's
then there's
bad.
just nothing to talk about. I mean, for one, there would be no like desk because they just agree with everything. No one would watch that. Like boring. I mean, there's nothing to talk about. Obviously, certain people like certain things more than other people. I mean, I think mostly people dislike players because they just don't like their personality or they just have like some hatred towards them because of something they said or they beat a favorite team, for example. But yeah, I don't care. I mean, I'm just like I respect the fans, even though most of them like hate me, but I respect them, man. Honestly.
In terms of your, I guess, team getting back to player health, mental health, team chemistry and stuff, like, what's the most important thing for you guys as a team? You talked about how you probably didn't have the best result regional one. Like, I know when I was playing, like, for me, like, comms and just being able to speak up, we talk about other people being able to speak what they want, but in terms of team stuff, being able to speak your mind and whatever issues and stuff, because I always found when I was a player, if someone had an issue, whatever how small it might be play style, it might be what someone says, if someone's size or something, if you let it sort of grow, it can just turn into like a way bigger thing that already was. So like, is that a big thing for you guys? Like communication, being able to talk through issues, say what's on your mind, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to like build a level of trust to be able to like openly speak your minds. Because like, I mean, if you like just start teaming, you're not really like close to each other, and like, you kind of got to understand each other's brains. To know like, if you have to say it in a certain way, otherwise it's going to affect them. Because I mean, I could basically say like, Eekso, you're playing shit, and he like takes it like super to heart, and like keeps playing shit. Or I could say like you're playing shit to Oski, and he's like locks in and starts playing really good, So like everyone's different, and you gotta like understand how to talk to people differently. But like I mean, the success to a team is being able to openly talk about issues you have, because when you just let it like eat away at you, then you're never gonna succeed.
And what do you guys think? Let's do a bit of, maybe this could help you guys. What do you guys think is separating top, like you talk about the top two right now? You guys are kind of in that next bracket. What do you think separating you guys from getting to the top of the region? Is it stuff like that? Comms, talking? Is it practice schedules? Is it
BDS and KC just cold, bro.
just cold?
They just like clutch, man. Like an OT, they'll just clutch you out. Like a game 7, they'll clutch you out. I mean, also they just have like all the individual players are playing like the best Rocket League they can. For example, like I think like Exotic's playing like one of the best players in Europe right now. For sure, he's like the X Factor of BDS. Like he's playing super well.
He bound air roll. Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah, for this season.
Scary.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I always knew he was like pretty good, but like honestly, this season, like he's actually like insane. Like he's so hard to play against. Like, he's probably the best player on BDS in my opinion. And then
Yeah,
like
level
obviously
it
KC
up.
you have Vatira, who just like is the biggest winner of all time, bro. If this guy wins Worlds one time, he's probably the greatest of all time, bro. Like unironically. Then they've got Rice, who always goes to grand finals, and Atto, who's like insanely talented too. So
Playing really well.
makes sense. And then the other there's probably like 4 teams like us, Magnifico, Gentlemates, and Vitality, who are like kind of in that region together where we're like not as good as BDS and KC, but like eventually, the season's a long season, so eventually probably we'll be able to catch up. I don't think any teams are there like best yet.
What about so Moist didn't qualify for the second event? Where do you put Moist? Do you think that's an indication of?
I have no idea what to think of Moist, because I think like before after the first regional, I'd think, oh, okay, they're probably like top 6 as well. But then they don't make the regional, bro. Like your top 6 team, you have to make the regional. Like,
but do you think that's format or
good.
Moist or a bit of both?
Both. I mean, both. Like
Both.
when I first saw them lose, I was like, bro, like the format's so bad. Like I feel bad for them, but like at the end of the day, you gotta win, bro. Like you can't like not make top 16 in Europe. If you want to like make majors, bro, like it's just like
that day, man. That day is crazy.
Obviously,
you
they
go
got
from
unlucky
like
run in the lowest, but like they literally lost to Solary in uppers. Like that's their own fault. Like 3-0. Like
yeah.
But I mean, they can bounce back for sure. Like in terms of like peak potential, they're pretty good. They got like Joyo, who's insanely like talented. Oli, who's on his days like an insane player, and then Rezi. I don't really know much about Rezi like as a player, but I mean, he's got a pretty high mechanical ceiling. So who knows?
I want to just quickly circle back to the question about, because I asked you about K-Cob and stuff. You kind of said they're just cold, but like how are we going to do it, boys? Is it going to be more practice for you guys to be able to beat a K-Cob, to get to the BDS K-Cob level? Is it practice? Is it trying to change? Is it analyzing their play style, trying to emulate it? Is it what do you guys think it's going to take for you guys to get to that next step? Is it just time?
I think it's just time, yeah. I think we kind of spoke about a lot of things after the first regional. I think we're going to speak again sometime soon and just kind of like put together our thoughts and just keep pushing, because I think obviously a lot of people didn't see every game we played, but I think we made a big jump in performance from the first regional to the second. So hopefully we can do that same jump next regional.
Yeah, I think that for me, watching, I think K-Corp do it the best. It's just the way they play is like so unselfish. Like everything they do is just trying to like instant. And I think communication, I think Atto might have tweeted with their comms as well. I love to sort of listen to a few games of their comms, because it's just like instantly, like the first guy on the ball always knows what he's going to do. It's like air dribble bump straight away, second guy's following up underneath, stuff like that. They're always just like doing the optimal thing for wherever they are on the pitch. But I think they've kind of like nailed that more than anyone else. The way they sort of follow each other and not try and just 1v3 air dribble or 1v3 solo play. Like they're looking to break teams down. I think they kind of like do that better than anyone else. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like at the end of the day, it's like a long season. Like we saw last season, like KC started off super strong. They were the best. I think they were the best like team over the season for sure. Like last season, and they didn't win Worlds because it's like such a long season. So there's still like loads of time. Like Vitality could come back to peak form in the second split, and they could be the best team in the world. So I mean, it's just the first split. It's only been 2 regionals. Like I don't think we can really talk about much because I mean, I think also like the 7th month or whatever it was off season has like really like hurt teams, because like not playing RLCS for that long, honestly, I think like has like made like the level go down a little bit, in my opinion. I don't know if you agree, but I don't think the level is
consistency 100%.
Consistently, yeah.
Consistency is definitely fallen off, but I think mechanics and like I don't know, peak has gone up considerably, because I feel like Vitality at the end of last season raised the bar, and now everybody's just going for the craziest things as just like normal baseline. I'm like, I feel like there's so many players now who are trying shots that only Zen would have tried at the very end of last season when he first came into the league. So I think peak's really gone way up.
Stuff like that.
Oh my god, the peak attempts have gone through the roof, but consistency is definitely down. I think, I think it's partly as well the pressure of the format has to be a contributing factor, because it's so brutal, like qualifiers and knowing that
no
it's
wild card, well played.
just
Epic Games.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
so
wildcard
it's a
seed and
joke.
only 4 spots for EU. So like the pressure is just way more on now than it was before. So that's got to be a factor when you're talking about
Yeah.
consistency. I mean, how are you supposed to be as consistent when there's just more on the line and less spots and there's less events and less time to get it all in?
Do you guys
Um,
feel that? Like, we talk about 4 spots. Do you guys kind of feel that amongst the teams and in tournaments? Before I feel like just getting top 4, you kind of like, nice, like it's a tick, but I feel like you're never really comfortable now in EU. Like
Yeah,
it's like a win or nothing.
I really feel the pressure of having to make top 4 to make all the major and lands, because obviously I go into every tournament like thinking about that tournament and try and win it. So I don't really think about the long term. I just think about the tournament I'm in and like game by game. But I think it's just like
so
it's like a joke that you had 4 spots when you got 4 teams in the top 4 worlds. Like, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's tough. I hope it goes back up in the future for sure. I really do. I think it could. I hope this is the new like baseline, and then the EU just gets more. NA can get one. Oh, well, EU and NA getting their spot back is definitely number 1 on the agenda now that Mina's got 2 and SSA's got 1. Actually, I wasn't planning on bringing this up, but are you guys following the SSA versus EU SSA regionals?
Did you see how many
at all?
teams qualified? I saw
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like
10.
so many teams.
6 SSA teams only. So there's 10.
Yeah, six SSA teams and 10 EU teams. Or no, there's 9 EU
Nine.
teams and 1 North African team. Funnily enough, an Algerian team is playing, which I actually don't mind that. I mean, fair play. At least they're African. It's the right continent. But Eekso and Archie, have you followed like the matches at all, or the team? I know the team who's playing in the final every time and losing is all English. Do you know those guys, Nugget and Motion?
Yeah, I used to play with Motion on Xbox when I was like 13. It's kind of funny. But
No
they just
way.
went to reunion. They're literally like
Yeah. Wait, have they flown out there? Hold
yeah,
on.
yeah, which is kind of weird because I'm
So
pretty sure they have
crazy.
to beat the like to die for's team in like the quarters or
Quarters or
Yeah.
semis.
something. Yeah.
to
They've
even
got to
win it.
snipe.
Yeah.
They've got to throw 2 games in Swiss and snipe them in the quarters. They've got to
Yeah,
snipe
yeah,
an 8th place in Swiss.
that'd actually be crazy if that happens.
If
to be
they
honest.
try that, that is the biggest drama in Rocket League history. Flying to Reunion Island to then try and lose twice in Swiss
Well, it's
on
kind of weird. Like,
purpose.
why didn't they just fly out at the start if they wanted to do
I
this?
don't
Like, why are they
know.
just doing it now? Or at least
Maybe
for the
they
second
meant
one.
to,
If they
but it
did
was
the second
tough.
and
I don't
third,
know.
yeah, I mean, I think
Maybe
like
it was.
16, so.
Yeah, I mean it's gotta be tough. I didn't even know about Reunion Island before. It's like some island off the coast of Madagascar that's like I think
Yeah.
a French
I didn't know about it. No.
colony.
Yeah, it is.
And there's there's a Dutch team out there, and now there's an English team out there. Maybe it's like the part of SSA that's easiest to short-term emigrate to. I don't know, but yeah,
So,
SSA is
do
this
this.
weekend, and they're playing again.
If they fix the bracket, which they really have to do, like, and you can't blame them for doing it, will this like be the first time to really expose the Swiss and like single elim as like a serious problem?
If they do, I think they just get banned. Like, I think they just get straight up banned.
Yeah.
But is it like it's not like they're doing it for other people, like they're doing it for themselves? Isn't that different than?
It
goes against, like,
definitely
competitive
against the
integrity, man.
rules.
I know you have to like play it
Definitely against the
100% every
rules.
series, but like I don't know. I mean, I had a team get banned because they threw to keep us from getting out, but that was kind of like a different thing. That was kind of like to stuff someone else's thing.
Oh
up
yeah,
and
they
not
had
even help
nothing to gain,
themselves.
and they still
Yeah.
threw. That was an incredible OCE drama back then.
But this is kind of like this is a hard one for me. Like I understand like the whole thing.
Well,
but
it's
that's more
against, for the record, it's against the rules.
It is.
They
You
can't
have to play it
throw.
100% every series. I know, but it's just like a weird when it doesn't benefit you directly and it doesn't hurt anyone else apart from the other team, but it's because you want to get there. I don't know.
Yeah. So what you're bringing up is a fair point, that the format in this instance does in fact incentivize losing, because the only way that they can make the LAN is by losing twice in Swiss, getting 8th place in Swiss, to then snipe Limitless in the quarterfinals and eliminate them. That's the only way they can make LAN. So yes, I would agree, a format that incentivizes losing is a bad format in that aspect. But overall, Swiss into single is mostly very good, my opinion. But in this instance, yes, this is an example where it could be improved. I think it could be improved.
Yeah, like
By
because people are
Swiss into
saying
AFL.
it can hurt. It can hurt the bracket and stuff. But at the end of the day, if they do this and then win the tournament, it's hard to say, oh, this team is like not playing at their high. Like, well, we just won the thing. They just did it they just went on a different seed to get there. Like it's a funny one,
And
but I
Swiss
understand
into
why they
AFL,
would get banned.
this wouldn't happen in Swiss into AFL. They would have to get 4th to try and snipe Limitless, and then Limitless wouldn't even be eliminated, so it wouldn't work. Like there are formats where this wouldn't work, but yeah, that's the you know, we'll talk about it again next week when that story actually happens. We'll see. Maybe they're just like going out to Limitless to
Yeah, what
Reunion
if
Island
Limitless? What if Limitless lose in the third round
Oh,
on
the
purpose
counter
so they don't get
throw.
it? And then what? Do they get banned then if they're trying to dodge the?
Oh my
Like
goodness.
again, I think it's a format issue. It's 100% a format issue
Yeah,
because
it
you
is.
can
It is.
literally manipulate where you are in the matchup. It's like
Yeah,
1,000,000% a format issue.
I think maybe they're just going out to Reunion Island to get some experience out there before the second split, where they're going to go hard and
Yeah, I'm
try and
sure.
really go for it.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll circle back on that next week. 'Cause that's this weekend that's happening. But yeah, Riz, CJ, you had one thing to bring up to round off this episode, I believe, or was this for another week? I don't know what the title was.
No, well, yeah, we could probably wrap it up with this.
We can wrap it up with one more topic, if you don't mind.
We could.
I wanted to
wrap
ask
it up.
Eekso and Archie about the last thing I wrote in the chat. If you want to read that, that was like the transition I was going for here. Don't want to spoil it.
This kind of sums it up. So obviously, for those that might have watched the EU pre-show on Saturday, there was an NA with Taj. A lowlights, a not top 10, which is commonplace.
They
in
called
pretty
it a
much.
highlight reel, by the way.
Okay, well, obviously
We
it
did.
wasn't.
We did. It was a very well. It was so deceptive. It was
Anyway, it was
very
a bit
well
of,
hidden.
Obviously, it's a bit of fun, and I think it happens in like any sport I watch. Do these like blooper reels, like funny, you know, and it's all just kind of it's just entertainment. And I think that like me as a former pro, I think like Yummy's made like an 8-minute clip of me missing open nets. Like it just happened. Like it's just what you get when you're pro.
Video.
Like there's I don't know if it's 8 minutes, but there's like a whole anyway. Anyway. I'm really just saying how Yummy just shat on my whole career, but. Look, this happens. It's just entertainment stuff, and I thought that the reaction was very interesting. Like there was a lot of people, I guess, coming into bat for the players or for the region for things saying, "Oh, this is too far. This isn't what you want. The mainstream shouldn't be showing this." I'm like, I just think we need to lighten up a little bit. It was kind of what I wanted to get at. Like it's like who cares? Like it's just entertainment.
Yeah.
We're not. It's not. Like we're just pointing out like this happened in the game, but let's laugh about it. Let's move on.
I want to ask Archie and Eekso, did you guys see the NA highlight reel by chance?
Yeah, I was watching on the big screen.
You got to see it. Okay, now not necessarily talking about the highlight reel itself, but as I guess like entertainment value. Like what do you think of that? You know, a whiff Taj from NA. Being shown on the mainstream. Do you think that's a bad thing? Do you think that's a good thing? Does it matter at all?
I mean, I thought it was like funny, but I mean, I can see why people was like obviously like thought it was disrespectful, but I mean, I thought it was like jokes. But I mean, I still think like the broadcaster could do better with like putting a bit of respect on G2's name, for example. I think the rest of the region you can shit all, but G2 are really good.
Didn't we do that? I swear we showed like 7 different clips from Atomic.
Yeah, you did show that clip, but
well.
it was also Gen.G fucking up. So well played.
I did. I must have missed. I must have been watching a different clip. All I saw was like players playing Perfect Rocket League and Atomic scored a banger from 7 different angles. I don't know.
It was still funny.
If I can agree with you there.
I mean, well, obviously, like a lot of people in the scene are like, what's the word, snowflakes. So it's obviously going to hurt them a bit harder. So, especially
no,
NA
I mean,
fans.
okay, that's obviously something you can't do again. The whole Atomic thing, but that was obviously, a reference to like recently, like the past, like I don't know when it was, like a week or something ago. Like there was just these hilarious Reddit threads, like with the most insanely toxic titles, which I loved. Honestly, I was like I was linking it to the boys, like, this is amazing that's actually been typed out and posted on the Rocket League Esports Reddit. But anyway, yeah, about me being toxic. So I thought, okay, let's just spin a 180, pretend that I'm being nice to G2, and it's not. In fact, it's just the same goal 7 times. But that's not going to be. We can't do that again. It's a joke. But would you guys mind that in the EU context, Eekso, if there was like an EU whiffs Taj, would you care? I've got an idea of what you might say here, but I want to hear it from you.
I think it's like a bit of cheap humor, but I mean, if people think it's funny, then I don't really care. Like, it's not like gonna affect me like too much, but I do think it's a bit lazy. But I mean, again, it's whatever you guys think it is. Like, like as a production crew. So, like, just me personally, I don't really find it that funny. But I mean, in the moment, it was quite funny. But I don't know.
We got it. We got it a little bit. We got it
a little bit. No, but I didn't understand like. I don't like the fact that like obviously you guys like always criticize North America, then do it. Like I feel like it's over the like I said, it's a bit over the top. Like and I just think this whole NA versus EU discussion is dead. I think EU's clearly
it's
better.
dead.
Like it's not a discussion.
Yeah, I think we should start discussing EU versus Sam or EU versus Mina, bro. I'm not trolling, man.
EU versus OCE, you know, stuff
No,
like
no,
that.
I
Powers
think I'm
dominate.
not even trolling. I'm not even trolling. I think Mina and Sam might have more teams to contend than NA.
And OC
I'm not trolling,
or what's up?
Oh, hell no, hell no. Hell
Okay,
no.
I just wanna make
OC is
sure.
from AS. OC, like
Really,
honestly, elite
It's either
zero spots, OC,
inadvertently stoking the fire, or the most like another just fantastic example of deadpan British humor. So well done to both of you for that. But yeah, the whole like no, that one segment we ran, obviously that was like in that execution of it, you can't do that again. It was you know, it was intentionally crafted based on recent events. You know, because it would be very, I think it would be worse if we just ran like on the EU pre-show last Saturday. Imagine we just went live and we're like, yeah, so here's a summary of NA last weekend, and it's a bunch of like, you know, mistakes in one series, and we're doing like deep dive into what went wrong. I think that's worse. I felt like we felt like putting more of a light tone on it, because everybody seems to be so on edge in the Rocket League community right now. We're like, let's just calm down a second here. It's not that serious. Let's just have a laugh. Because I mean, me personally, I think it humanizes players. I talked about this on my stream the other day. I think that players make mistakes, and if all you do in a pre-show is talk about how amazing the players are and how perfect the players are, and then you go into the game one of the series and there's immediately like I don't know, a kickoff goal because nobody went for the ball, the viewers are just gonna be like, wait, what? This isn't what we were told to expect. So I don't know. Everybody makes mistakes. All pros make mistakes, and it's fine. I don't think it defines them, and I think it's, for me, I reckon it's funnier and more. I think it's less toxic to put it in a funny context than it is to actually do a breakdown of, let's talk about what went wrong here. But what do you guys think? Would you rather see here's a key mistake, key moment, analytical angle versus what we're talking about here, with more of a funny tone?
Depends how bad the mistake is.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd
also
think,
be
like,
intrigued. Here you go on.
I think like a bit of both could be good. I think like the desk could definitely do more analytical like things. Like I liked when you did the kickoff thing, Johnny, on the show. To be honest,
I knew someone like that. I knew you're my one.
Only
Yeah,
one.
like-
Actually,
like
the only
EU,
one.
a lot of teams in
hate
EU
it.
are like, well, a few teams in EU are like trying to do kickoffs like us as well, like KC, Vitali. And I think that was like a good breakdown. I mean, obviously, I think for like if you do it again, you can get more kickoffs because there was way more that happened this regional.
There were.
I
think Magnifico watched it. I think Magnifico countered the very first kickoff we talked about in the kickoff classroom.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, the bottom corner.
They countered it.
Awesome.
Yeah, they scored a kickoff goal straight off the bat. I think Magnifico were watching the
They
pre-show
found the
that
only
day.
gap. That
Yeah, I
was
Or
think
they
you
did
guys
their
can
own.
definitely do like more like breakdowns on like certain plays. But because I think like if you like go into a mistake that a certain player made instead of a team, then it's much worse. Like I think if you just go into a mistake that the whole team made, or like certain things that like each player did wrong instead of just like one guy, then I think it's cool. Like I wouldn't mind if you like broke down a play that me, Eekso, Archie like all fucked up in, like or like the other team just outplayed us. I think that would be good for the viewers, for example.
Be careful what you wish for, though. I
Agree.
might accidentally expose your game plan, like I did to G2s.
Yeah, do it.
I
Honestly,
put up
do
a
it.
G2 video. Sathu messaged me and said, "Take that down right now." That's what he said. So just be careful.
I
Just be careful
like
what
it,
you
yeah.
sure.
I'll be watching.
I
as
like
well.
that you said that though. Yeah, I'm glad that somebody likes the kickoff like breakdowns and like more analytical content. So, personally, I'd love to do more stuff like that, and I know I'm not the only caster who thinks that. Because we want to do more things like that for sure. But that content does definitely exist. Like in the past week, I know Gibbs has made multiple videos doing more like analytical style about what's going on in RLCS. CJ's made like a bunch of analytical videos. I've made like a video looking at some stats on G2 versus Gen.G. I haven't seen the community talk about any of them outside of the actual channels they've been posted. I've not seen any interest in the community. I just want to call out the community a little bit here. I think they say we want this, we want that, and they don't really want that. They do in fact just want NA versus EU drama, because that's all that people post, even if it's completely manufactured. Like
Did you see
so many Reddit threads about that, and nothing about the content that is being made.
Did you see? I think it was very recently. JJ Redick.
I was about to
NBA,
bring this up. I'm so glad you did.
He actually had a rant about this. I saw this actually because an AFL radio talk show brought this up. It's like Australian rules mention this, and it's I guess prevalent in every sport. So he has a YouTube channel. He did an analytical video on I think it was was it Pelican? Was it
doesn't matter what it was about. He did an analytical
basketball
video.
team.
He did an in-depth analysis video, and usually his views, his videos get like 250k, 300k viewers, 200k, whatever. He did an analysis video, and he got like 50k views, and he went on a rant, and he said, everyone talks about how good it is, like to do analysis, don't do stuff. At the end of the day, no one cares. You guys don't watch it. It's got 50k views. Whereas you could do it, drama, trade rumors, that kind of stuff.
About that as well is he immediately I don't know, following that or right before that, probably following it, he made like a diss, I guess, in a way, about like Doc Rivers, which is a coach, talking about like just like a bunch of stuff in general. And then like immediately that gets like millions and millions of impressions, but his analytical video gets like 50k views. So it's literally the same exact thing you're talking about. It's like as soon as you go for an analytical take, it's like there's such a small amount of people that actually care about it, but like as soon as you just drama farm, it's instantly people will talk about it.
I mean, it's this is a small subset. It's like my YouTube channel right now. Like I've done analysis videos, but my most viewed is just like me watching Squishy play Garrett G, and it's like who's got to beat who? Like that's like the most. It's just like people want to watch. People want to watch. I don't know, Zen whatever do this or drama or Vitality are making a roster move or something, like stuff like that. That's all. It's the same as just real world news. Like people watch bad news. We gravitate towards drama, towards bad news, towards negativity.
But we actually want to make analytical content. RLCS casters, all time RLCS, they want to do that, but like I don't think it gets enough like actual talk from people who say that. Like people will say this is what we want, and then it'll get made, and those same people don't talk about it. And then I'll just be going about my day-to-day life. I'll just be streaming and talking to my viewers, and I'll say something I'll make a joke, and that's more like a joke on my stream is more likely to get clipped out of context and get 500 upvotes and 200 comments than a video where I do like an analytical style deep dive. And it's been the same, by the way, for years. This isn't just a current thing. That has always been the case. It's always been the case. So part of it is probably just, like CJ said, I think bad news just gets more clicks, gets more engagement. But we don't actually want to do that all the time. We're not, in fact, farming impressions as a job. We do want to make analytical content as well. So hopefully people will start engaging with it more. Watch CJ's videos. Post CJ's videos. They're really good. I don't know why there's not a Reddit thread about every single one of them.
Oxygen might win a regional if they copy G2 style. I want to get back to this. Let's dive. As you guys have talked about G2, Archie, you're all about it. Right now, who wins, G2 or Vitality?
G2 versus Vitality.
Right now, current form.
Okay, but is this on LAN?
You got to bet your like entire net worth on it on LAN right now. Round 1 in Swiss.
Okay.
What happens?
Okay, now let's go with best of 7. I like best of 7 more.
No, it has to be round 1 because then there's no other evidence. You don't know. Well, I guess you don't know what's happening.
It's just a best of 7, just a straight up.
Okay, let's just say Swiss.
Round 1 Swiss best of 7. Yeah.
Okay,
let's do that.
so I'm saying G2 win game 1, then Vitality win 2, then G2 win another, Vitality timeout, and then Vitality win the next 2. Vitality 4-2.
Oh. 4-2.
So you would say, in fact, it's not insane to rank Vitality over G2 right now. Another way to say that.
Do not get started with that, Johnny.
Of course, G2 could win. I think G2 insane, bro. But Vitality.
Yeah, they could. Yeah,
we haven't seen EU vs NA like since Worlds, and look what happened at Worlds. Vitality just destroyed everyone, bro. And Vitality, like, just because they ain't winning every regional doesn't mean anything, bro. Like, it's hard to win regionals, and you can't always win, bro. So I still think Vitality. I still think Vitality's like. I think you could still say Vitality's still the second best team in the world. So I think KC's like a little bit better.
Archie, you're trading on very dangerous territory right now. This is you're on quicksand. Be careful. This is almost this is almost war crime territory in the Rocket League community right now. What you're saying, so be extremely careful. Truthfully, no. To keep talking, it's hilarious. If people find that what you've just said annoying,
I mean, until the LAN, Vitality is still the best team. So.
On LAN or just in general?
Yeah, I mean, on LAN, bro. Like LAN's a completely different game to online, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And like, I don't really know how G2 play because I don't really watch NA. But if they're super like mechanical, like passing, like I don't know if they're gonna have the same like consistency and like peak on LAN as they do online. But maybe they're just cold. But don't know.
All right, I have one last thing here.
Zen's that guy, bro. Zen's that guy, bro.
Yeah, that guy.
I have one last thing here.
No, wait, you mean Radosin is that guy? Radosin is him.
Oh yeah, he's that guy too. But Zen's also that guy.
I think
That's a good
Eekso's that guy, actually.
I am my guy.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Eekso is that guy. Yeah, actually, I do have one more question, kind of for Eekso here specifically, because you were saying that, not exactly what you said, but I'm paraphrasing here. You were saying that the lowlights were kind of low-hanging fruit. It was kind of like, I don't know, you didn't say bad content, but you said something close to that. I can't remember exactly what you said.
Lazy.
Yeah, you said lazy content. Is there anything specific you would want to see from the desk or like some sort of desk content? Is it actually analytical, or is there something else that you think would make for better content on the desk?
I mean, yeah, just before, like Archie kind of said, I would prefer more analytical content personally, just so I get like a general idea of what the casters, actually see with the game as. I feel like a lot of casters that genuinely don't actually understand what they're seeing. A lot of them cast things that aren't actually happening in the game. So, yeah.
So you want it to be more tailored to exposing, self-exposing casters.
Obviously, personally, because I'm a pro player, I want it to appeal more to the pro players. I want content for us and content that we can like feed off of and actually like, do things for. But when I see like NA fail compilation number 5, it's just boring to me. I don't really know what we can all gather from it. Obviously, we know NA is the worst region. We don't need to like dogpile it.
No. Yeah, we're gonna need to get in the lab with Eekso here and come up with some analytical context. We want to make that happen for sure. That's definitely something that I love to hear personally. I know CJ agrees. I know everybody, like literally every caster agrees, as far as I'm aware. That would be amazing to have.
Yes, that'd be. I think we can always improve, can't we? As a collective. But Eekso, Archie. Firstly, we got two last things for you. I want your EU major teams. You can let's leave yourself out of it and give 4 other teams for the sake of content. And then I want your top 4 teams at the major results.
Okay. Well, number 1 seed for me, you've probably got Belagol.
Here we go again.
No, yeah, I think Belagol was the number 1 seed if it's possible still.
If it's possible,
this guy can't say this with a straight face.
I think Casey will make a roster move and then DQ. So
Jesus, it's getting bad already.
I think I don't know. I'll probably say that Magnifico make it, Vitality make it, BDS make it, KC make it.
No Gentlemates. Wow.
Oh yeah. Gentlemates over Vitality. With Magnifico then, yeah. I mean, they're the best. They're the best 4 outside of us. So
big French 4 if it's not Oxford. Archie.
KC seed 1, C2 BDS, then thing is I really like Gentlemates in Regional 1. But then they seemed like they weren't as good in this regional.
Fell off a bit though in the second regional, yeah.
Like they were super insane in regional 1, but I still think they'll make it because they have like a 3-point gap, and I think that's gonna be the good enough. And then I mean honestly, like you could say like Vitality or Magnifico, like it just depends who plays who in the quarters. Like
it's a lot of matchups
could play like so again, and Vitality can play BDS. Like it's literally whoever gets the easiest matchup in the top 8, I think, will make it.
I mean, for sure. That's kind of like the annoying thing.
I think if they both make if they both get the same result and it goes to tiebreak and then Vitality win, like for sure. But yeah, it depends on the quarterfinal matchup. But I have more trust in Vitality to make it, of course. So I'll go Vitality.
Vitality. Did we do it and then major?
Major top 4. I mean, if EU is not in the same quarterfinal, then I'd probably go KC guaranteed, BDS, Vitality, and then I'll say G2.
I'd say Falcons, K Corp. Fuck it, complexity. And
Complexity.
yeah, fuck it, why not, bro? And I can't think of another team, bro. I'm blanking.
Furia.
Vitality.
Go the same double.
Vitality.
Oh, no,
I tell you. I've got one last question for me as well. Do you guys scrim the mini teams at all? Or do you know if the mini
No,
teams
they never
are
show
scrimming
up.
you?
They never show up, bro.
They never show up?
Listen, we tried. We tried scrim them.
They always cancel last second.
We tried scrim, but they cancel. They cancel every time. So yeah, well played.
Well played.
They sleep in.
No, honestly,
well played.
Getting a scrim and then canceling 10 minutes, but honestly, well played.
Yeah, always, bro, always. Or they play one game. Oh, sorry, internet out, bro. Well played, bro. No, well played, well played. No, honestly, well played, bro.
No, actually, one time we started scrimming and 5 minutes after one game, they said that Inter provided
Appointment
to the
or
house.
something.
After the
Yes.
interview. Yeah, well played.
There's always some random story, bro.
No,
There's
you
always some
literally know
random story.
when you have a book scrim with the MENA team, you literally know coming today. Oh, it's probably cancelled, bro. So you probably have one scrim.
Yeah, one of them's always been offline for like 4 days for no reason, bro. Like, how the hell is this guy a pro player, bro?
Yeah, true.
So, sorry for bringing it up, Johnny. That was
no. I knew
not
that was
the way
gonna
we
be-
wanted it to go.
No, that's exactly the way I wanted it to go. Yeah, that's fantastic. Good stuff. But yeah, I think the mini guys do have exams right now, so maybe we'll give them that. We'll give them exam
Ah, there you
copy.
go.
They've done it for
as a
they've done it for
final
like 2 years, bro. 3 years. They've always done it.
They do have a
I'm not
lot
gonna
of
joke,
exams.
They've always done it, bro.
They
No,
do.
like,
okay.
no,
Makes
when we
sense,
actually do
makes
scrim them, it's good because they're good teams. Like they're actually like so when we scrim them, it's fun. But that's if they actually turn up. Bro.
Oh, they've had exams
it's
for
like
3 years. You have to
gambling.
forgive them.
Yeah, it's like gambling, bro. It's like roulette.
All right, we're going to wrap it there. Before
Let's
Rizzo
go.
actually wraps it, though, I want to give one final shout out. Obviously, we'll thank the guests in a minute. I want to give a shout out, though, firstly to the patrons, the Chalkcast patrons, but also if you guys want to play in a tournament, the patrons run a tournament in the Discord, 2v2 mix-ups, 3v3 mix-ups, next tourney. They do weekends as well. It might be like the 16th, 17th of March. But if you want to jump in the Discord, you can chat to us in the Chalk Discord. There you go. Rizzo's chucked it in there. If you want to play with the Chalkcast gang, the community, jump in those tournaments. Fantastic stuff. There's channels in there to follow. Or if you want to chat to us, subscribe to the Patreon, stuff like that. Bonus episodes every week. We have how many bonus episodes? Maybe like 30, nearly 40 now. We've got a lot.
Yep.
Probably
800.
40.
Insane value.
I don't know. We've got tons of bonus episodes, so make sure you tune into there. And I just want to give a shout out to those guys. So well done. Thank you to the patrons. We love you guys. Jump in the Discord. I know Eekso and Archie, they're going to be hanging out in that Chalk Discord all the time. So thanks to those guys.
I'm always there. Catch me there.
He's always in there. He's always ever since he's done the formations. But anyway, Rizzo, you can wrap it now. I just wanted to get that in.
Yeah, here's the real wrap up. Thank you everybody for watching episode 69, a super nice episode of Chalkcast. We appreciate Eekso and Archie for joining us today, even though Archie didn't have a webcam. That's all good. We forgive him. He will get fined, by the way, just as a heads up.
Yeah, my bad.
But if you
I'll
guys,
send that 5,000 wire to you next day.
Yeah,
next day delivery.
we appreciate that. We appreciate that. If you guys missed any part of the episode, be sure to check it out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. And we will see you all in the next one. We appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.
See ya.